At 19:34 p.m., the national power grid comes under attack, not with missiles, not with bombs, with code. Hackers breach the supervisory control system. They access 40 transformer substations simultaneously. Distance between stations, up to 600 miles. Coordinated breach across 6 states. This is not random. This is planned. Combat Power analyzes the 90 seconds between detection and catastrophic failure. The grid operates at 60 Hertz. This frequency must remain stable. Generators produce power. Consumers use power. The balance must be exact. Too much generation and frequency rises. Too little and frequency falls. When frequency drops below 57 Hertz, protective systems trigger. They disconnect generators automatically. This prevents damage to turbines, but it also crashes the entire grid. At 19:34:12 p.m., operators notice the breach. 40 substations go offline. Power generation immediately exceeds consumption by 8,000 megawatts. Frequency begins climbing. Automated systems compensate. They reduce generator output. Frequency stabilizes at 60.1 Hertz. The operators breathe. Then the second phase hits. The hackers reverse the attack. They bring the 40 substations back online simultaneously. Now consumption exceeds generation by 12,000 megawatts. Frequency drops. 59.8 Hertz, then 59.5, then 59.1. The rate of decline accelerates. Combat Power examines warfare where the weapon is mathematics and the battlefield is invisible. The control center erupts in activity. 20 operators monitor 340 substations. Screens display real-time data. Frequency graphs show the decline. Current reading, 58.9 Hertz. The chief operator calculates. At this rate, they reach 57 Hertz in 90 seconds, maybe less. He has 2 options. Manually shed load. This means deliberately cutting power to regions, hospitals, homes, water treatment, traffic systems. 40 million people go dark. Or trust the automated load balancing system. It should compensate. It was designed for this. But it has never faced a coordinated attack. The system might fail. If it fails, the entire grid crashes. Recovery takes 6 weeks. The chief operator needs authorization. He calls the grid director. The director is in a meeting. He answers on the 4th ring. The operator explains. Frequency at 58.6 Hertz. 70 seconds to cascade failure. Permission to shed load. Which force breaks first? A. Automated systems. B. Human decision-making. C. The power grid itself. The director hesitates. Deliberately blacking out 40 million people has consequences. Political, economic, medical, people on life support, refrigerated medicine, data centers, emergency services. He asks how confident the operator is in the automated systems. The operator gives an honest answer. 60%, maybe 70%. The director makes his decision. Trust the automation. Do not shed load. Not yet. Combat Power reveals that command decisions are often gambles with incomplete information and populations at stake. At 19:35:03 p.m., frequency hits 58.3 Hertz. 58 seconds remain. The automated system attempts compensation. It signals generators to increase output. The generators respond. But thermal plants take minutes to ramp up. Nuclear plants cannot adjust quickly. Only gas turbines provide immediate response. The system has 12 fast response turbines available. Each can provide 200 megawatts. Total available 2,100 megawatts. The deficit is 12,000 megawatts. The math does not work. The automated system tries alternative measures. It activates battery storage facilities. These provide 800 megawatts for 15 minutes. It requests emergency power from neighboring grids. They provide 1,100 megawatts. Total compensation, 4,300 megawatts. Deficit remaining, 7,700 megawatts. Frequency continues falling. 58.0 Hertz, 44 seconds to cascade. What happens next changes everything. The automated system makes a decision human operators did not anticipate. It identifies non-essential industrial consumers, aluminum smelters, steel mills, chemical plants. These facilities consume enormous power, but can tolerate brief interruptions. The system cuts them automatically. No human authorization, no warning. 8 smelters go offline. Combined load, 3,200 megawatts. 4 steel mills disconnect. Load, 1,800 megawatts. 3 chemical plants lose power. Load, 1,400 megawatts. Total load shed, 6,400 megawatts. Deficit remaining, 1,300 megawatts. Frequency stabilizes at 57.9 Hertz. The decline stops. The operators watch the displays. Frequency holds, then begins rising. 58.0 Hertz, then 58.2. The crisis appears over. Combat power shows that automated systems sometimes make calculations humans cannot match under pressure. But the hackers anticipated this response. They planned for it. At 19:31 p.m., they execute 3. They target the battery storage facilities, not the substations, the control systems. They send false. The batteries read as fully charged when they are depleting. The system believes it has 15 minutes of reserve. It actually has 4 minutes remaining. Operators do not notice. The false readings look normal. At 19:47 p.m., the first battery facility exhausts. It drops offline. Loss, 200 megawatts. Frequency dips, 58.1 Hertz. The automated system compensates. It requests more power from neighboring grids. They are already at maximum export. Cannot provide more. The system activates another fast response turbine. Frequency stabilizes at 58.3 Hertz. 30 seconds later, a second battery facility fails. Loss, 200 megawatts. Frequency, 58.0 Hertz. Then a third facility, 57.8 Hertz. The operators finally notice the pattern. The battery readings were false. The chief operator makes an immediate call. He orders manual load shedding. No more automation. No more trust. Cut the load. Now. The director approves. 20 seconds have passed since the decision. Frequency reads 57.6 Hertz. The cascade protection triggers at 57.0 Hertz. They have 0.6 Hertz remaining. At current decline rate, that equals 28 seconds. Combat power analyzes the moment when human override becomes the only option. Operators begin disconnecting regions manually. They prioritize based on population and critical infrastructure. Rural areas first, light industrial zones, residential neighborhoods with lowest medical needs. Each operator controls a different geographic sector. They work independently, no coordination time. Each makes instant decisions about who loses power. Region 1 disconnects. Load shed, 1,200 megawatts. Frequency stops declining, holds at 57.5 Hertz, then begins rising. 57.6 Hertz. The operators pause. Maybe that is enough. Frequency reaches 57.7 Hertz, then drops again. 57.6 Hertz. The temporary reprieve ends. The automated systems are still fighting the imbalance, still trying to compensate, still being undermined by false data. Region 2 disconnects. Load, 900 megawatts. Frequency, 57.8 Hertz. Region 3. Load, 1,100 megawatts. Frequency, 58.1 Hertz, rising. Region 4. Load, 800 megawatts. Frequency, 58.5 Hertz. The crisis passes. Total load shed, 4,000 megawatts. Total population affected, 22 million people, not the 40 million originally calculated. The manual approach allowed targeting, precision. The operators saved half. Combat power documents that sometimes splitting the difference between bad options creates the least bad outcome. At 19:36:42 p.m., the grid stabilizes. Frequency holds at 59.2 Hertz. Generation matches consumption. The immediate crisis ends. But consequences spread. 22 million people lost power. Hospitals switched to backup generators. Some generators fail. 3 hospitals evacuate critical patients. Traffic systems go dark. 47 intersections lose signals. Accidents spike. Water treatment plants shut down. Pumping stops. Pressure drops in municipal systems. Data centers lose grid power. Battery backup engages. They have 6 hours before shutdown. The economic impact begins calculating immediately. Every hour without power costs $400 million in this region. Lost productivity, spoiled goods, interrupted manufacturing, emergency response costs, necessary defense or catastrophic vulnerability. The hackers achieved their objective. They demonstrated capability. They proved critical infrastructure is vulnerable. They imposed costs. 22 million people affected. Billions in economic damage. And they did it with code. No physical attack. No military assets. Just access and timing. Combat Power examines why cyber warfare creates strategic effects without kinetic weapons. The investigation begins immediately. Cybersecurity teams trace the breach. They find the entry point, a maintenance contractor's credentials, stolen 3 weeks earlier. The hackers used legitimate access. They studied the system. They understood the timing. They knew exactly which substations to target, which systems to compromise, how to create cascade effects. The sophistication indicates state-level resources. This was not random criminals. This was military cyber command. The attack serves as proof of concept. If they can disrupt for 90 seconds, they can disrupt for hours or days. The grid director briefs government officials. He explains the vulnerability. 40 substations out of 340 created crisis. A larger attack could be worse, much worse. How many interceptors can one destroyer launch simultaneously? A. 24. B. 96. C. Over 200. The question is irrelevant to cyber warfare. Destroyers cannot shoot code. Interceptors cannot stop hackers. This battlefield has different weapons, different defenses, different rules. The answer to cyber attacks is not firepower. It is architecture, redundancy, segmentation, air gaps between critical systems. But implementing these solutions takes years and costs billions. The grid was built over decades. Upgrading it requires coordination across utilities, states, and regulators. Meanwhile, the vulnerability persists. Combat Power tracks why critical infrastructure protection is failing against modern threats. Power is restored to affected regions over 6 hours. Some areas take longer. Rural communities wait until morning. Repair crews work through the night. They inspect every substation, check every connection, ensure no physical damage. By dawn, 90% of customers have power. Full restoration takes 14 hours. The economic cost reaches $8.7 billion. 3 deaths attributed to the blackout. 47 injuries. The political consequences are severe. Questions about preparedness, investigations into security, demands for accountability. The grid director submits his resignation. It is rejected. He has more experience than anyone. They need him to prevent the next attack, because there will be a next attack. The hackers proved the concept. Nations watched. Other cyber commands took notes. The technique will be replicated, enhanced, applied to different targets, water systems, transportation networks, financial infrastructure, communications. If Combat Power decides wars, type Combat Power. The United States responds with multiple initiatives: increased cybersecurity funding, new protocols for critical infrastructure, mandatory security standards for utilities, partnerships with private sector, offensive cyber capabilities to deter future attacks. But defense remains difficult. The attack surface is enormous, millions of devices, thousands of access points, legacy systems built before cybersecurity existed. Upgrading everything is impossible. Protecting everything is impossible. Priorities must be chosen. Resources must be allocated. Some systems will remain vulnerable. What would you order next? grid operators face ongoing decisions: invest in physical security or cybersecurity, modernize systems or harden existing infrastructure, increase automation or return to manual control. Each choice has costs. Each has risks. The 90-second scenario revealed that automation can save the grid. It also revealed that automation can be compromised. The balance between efficiency and security is delicate. Combat Power provides analysis without advocating specific solutions. This scenario is based on realistic capabilities. Similar attacks have been attempted. Some succeeded. In 2015, hackers blacked out part of Ukraine's grid. In 2021, a ransomware attack disrupted a US pipeline. The techniques exist. The vulnerabilities are known. Only the scale varies. The power grid attack demonstrates several principles. First, critical infrastructure is vulnerable to cyber weapons. Second, attacks can cascade beyond their initial target. Third, human judgment remains essential even with automation. Fourth, recovery from cyber attacks can take longer than from physical attacks. These lessons inform how nations protect vital systems. Some increase monitoring. Some improve response times. Some add redundancy. All recognize the threat is persistent. Quiz answer. The question about destroyer interceptors was a misdirection. Cyber warfare operates in a different domain. Traditional military assets are irrelevant. The battle is fought in code, not kinetics. Defense requires different capabilities, different training, different thinking. Consider these questions. Can critical infrastructure be secured against determined state actors? Should essential services be air-gapped from the internet? What happens when attackers target multiple infrastructures simultaneously? How do societies function during extended blackouts? These questions require serious consideration. Combat Power provides the framework for understanding the stakes. The 90-second scenario will repeat. Different target, different technique, same principle. Attackers will find vulnerabilities. They will exploit timing. They will create cascades. Defense must anticipate and prevent. The alternative is measured in weeks without power and billions in damage. Subscribe to Combat Power, where raw force decides survival. No mercy, no pause. Only the reality that modern warfare is fought with electrons as much as explosives, and 90 seconds is enough time to bring a nation to its knees if the right systems are targeted at the right moment by adversaries who understand that infrastructure is the true foundation of combat power.